Can you go from the operating table to becoming a European champion in just a few months, completely lacking race fitness? What Jakob Ingebrigtsen did on the Birmingham track wasn't just a victory. After undergoing surgery in January, spending 324 days without competing, and arriving with zero race pace, the Norwegian defended his title with a brutal sprint in the final 60 meters, freezing the clock at 13 minutes and 15.29 seconds. What really happened in the 5,000 meters at the Birmingham European Championships? We know Ingebrigtsen won, but analyzing his feat isn't just about elite track and field. It's about understanding how an unbreakable mindset works. The race was completely lost for him with half a lap to go. He was boxed in, out of space, and running on empty. But what he did on the home stretch is a masterclass in strategy that you and I can apply to our very next race. Stick around until the end, because today we are breaking down the secret tactics behind his victory. Let's get into it. To truly understand the scale of what happened in Birmingham, we need to travel back a few months. Picture this. You are the most dominant athlete on the planet, but suddenly, your body says enough. Earlier this year, Jakob Ingebrigtsen had to make the toughest decision a runner can face, going under the knife due to a severe Achilles tendon injury. Any runner who has ever dealt with this knows that the Achilles is the ultimate deal-breaker in our sport. It's a slow, painful, and above all, psychologically devastating recovery. Jakob spent a staggering 324 days on the sidelines, almost an entire year in the shadows. While his rivals were clocking up miles, hitting altitude camps, and building race sharpness, he was grinding through rehab, gym sessions, and self-doubt. Jakob himself admitted that he faced daily doubts during the process. He didn't know if he would ever be the same, or when he'd be able to run pain-free again. He stepped onto the starting line at these European Championships with only a few weeks of quality workouts in his legs. Not a single tune-up race. Zero competitive tests. In the everyday running community, we often obsess over the idea that if we don't complete our training plan 100%, we aren't ready to race. We beat ourselves up mentally if we miss 2 weeks because of a cold or a minor niggle. Well, this man lined up for a European Championship final defying all the laws of sports physiology. How do you manage that lack of race fitness when you're facing the best on the continent? That's exactly where pure strategy comes into play. Let's dive straight into the Birmingham track. The strategy from Ingebrigtsen's rivals was clear. They knew he lacked race sharpness, so a fast, honest pace from the gun would have destroyed his legs. Because of this, the pack decided to control the tempo. French and German runners, led by Jimmy Gressier and Florian Bremm, turned the race into a tactical affair. At first, this seemed to play right into Jakob's hands since it didn't demand an agonizing amount of oxygen. However, in a 5,000-meter race, a slow pace is a double-edged sword. The pack stays tightly bunched, and the risk of tripping or getting boxed in on the rail multiplies by 10. And that is exactly what happened. The bell rings. Final lap. The stadium is electric. Jakob finds himself in a critical situation. He is trapped on the inside rail, surrounded by rivals, with no clean space to open up his stride. With just 150 meters to go, France's Gressier launches a devastating attack, changing gears wildly. At that exact moment, any of us would have panicked. You're short on fitness, boxed in, and your direct rival is gapping you by several meters. But Jakob maintained an almost superhuman composure. He waited. He didn't rush to throw elbows. With surgical patience, he found his way to the outside and moved into third place as they hit the home straight. And this is where the miracle happens. With only 60 meters left, when it looked like the gold was heading to Germany or France, Jakob unleashes his iconic final kick. He shifted into a gear that completely defies fatigue, closing the final 400 meters in a stratospheric 54.94 seconds. In a heart-stopping photo finish, Jakob leans his chest across the line to stop the clock at 13 minutes and 15.29 seconds, edging out Germany's Florian Bremm by a mere 31/100ths of a second. An absolute tactical and physical masterpiece that is now etched into athletics history. Watching Jakob run is a spectacular show, but what can you and I take away from this epic feat for our own training and racing? I'm walking away with 2 massive, game-changing lessons. First up, energy management and patience. How many times in a local race does someone overtake us? We get nervous, cover the move immediately, and end up burning out our legs way too early. Jakob gave us a masterclass in composure. He was completely boxed in with half a lap to go, but he didn't panic. He read the race, breathed, waited for the gap, and emptied the tank exactly where he knew it would count, the final 60 meters. Power without control is nothing. Strategy is everything. The second lesson, and perhaps the most powerful one for our runner's mindset, is don't wait for the perfect moment. Jakob dropped a quote after the race that we should all tattoo on our brains. If you wait for the perfect preparation, the perfect conditions, and the perfect moment, you will spend your whole life waiting. Sometimes we skip a workout because it's a bit cold, or we postpone signing up for that race because we couldn't follow our plan perfectly. Jakob proved that the mind can overrule a lack of mileage if you trust your talent and race with courage. So, remember this. The next time you doubt yourself on a starting line or when coming back from an injury, think back to what happened on that track in Birmingham. Now, I want to hear from you. What did you think of Ingebrigtsen's final kick? Do you think anyone in the world can break him mentally when the pressure is on? Let me know down in the comments below that if you enjoyed this tactical breakdown. Drop a huge like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the best running and track and field content. See you in the next miles.